Tuning in alone Sunday, all the tea getting spilled. Nail text, talking gang, keeping it real, y'all gon' feel. From designs to the drama, every secret they reveal. Stay sharp, stay tuned, man, you know it's the deal.
Hi guys, and welcome back to Nail on Sunday podcast with me, Chris, and my beautiful wife and co-host.
It's Rebecca. Go on.
Rebecca. No, I'm just looking at you and I'm thinking to myself, first of all, we're recording this on a Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday. Weird.
Which is very weird.
Very strange.
I have been working in the warehouse today, and for people who are visually watching on YouTube, I haven't even checked to see my appearance. Do I look okay?
You look fine.
I'm a working boy.
Got some crumbs on you.
Crumbs. That's a bit of a time out that I had to have. Some extreme skipping and a time out after rolling around the warehouse floor getting some Lumi lights. Lumi lamps. Lumi lamps. Yeah. Okay. That was it. That's all I've been up to.
Good.
Honey, the reason I was looking at you, have you changed something since this morning? Have you done something in your hair?
No. We're just like falling down.
Have I just not looked at you today? You just look different. Do you know what it is? I think you're in work mode compared to when we come in here on a Saturday and we're in so relaxed mode.
Yeah, I'm in work mode today. I've just been doing work stuff. Work.
Smells in here. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Honey, what have you been up to this week apart from work stuff?
I have been actually very busy. So today's a Wednesday and this is the quietest day in the office. So in the office, other than Chris and I, there is only 2 people in the office on a Wednesday. Well, 3 in the morning, but 2. So it is the day that I am most productive. I have a lot of stuff to do on a Wednesday. I actually wish a Wednesday was longer because I get so much done.
I mean, it can be.
Yeah, it could be. Anyway, I was just playing around with some new products just before we started this. Very exciting. Very excited about that product.
It is.
And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Product development is what we're going to be talking about today. First of all, I'm just going to preface this by saying it's a Wednesday, it's a working Wednesday. You're going to hear stuff outside. As much as we have insulated this place, it's an they're building a brand new school right now. As soon as we came here, they were like, oh, do you know what this needs? This little industrial estate needs a big, massive, huge school. The biggest school probably in the west of Scotland. They're building right next to us.
Yeah, probably, actually.
And it's going to be right next to a college, which is a big college.
Like a mega campus.
Huge, man. That McDonald's at the top of the street sold out.
Oh,
all
yeah.
day, every day.
Rolling in it. And the KFC.
So, yeah, I'm going to get myself a little burger van for just lunchtime. And just
Actually should.
Yeah, man.
Actually should.
Park on the cycle track.
Yeah,
That's
do it. Just serve burgers through the fence.
Cheeseburgers through the fence. I'll tell you something. Okay, I'll just tell you. You guys know my dad had ice cream vans when I was younger. And one of the ways I used to make money when I was 12 and 13 years old is my dad would give me 20 cigarettes and I would go sell them individually, which is completely illegal. But he's
how much do you sell your cigarette for?
20 pence.
I think that's ridiculous. So, but how much was a packet of cigarettes?
Back in those days, like £2.50.
Right, so you're making a loss? Oh no, it was £2.20. 20, so £4. Okay, so you're not even doubling your money.
Yeah, no.
You were doing it. You should have done at least 50p.
It was completely illegal, and I was 12.
Yeah, but you were a kid.
Yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd tell you that. That was my dad, Harry. Ace guy.
He was.
He was. Product development is something that we have been requested for this pod by many, many people, which we think is kind of weird.
It is. Like, I did not have this on the bingo card for this side of the year, but people have, when we asked what people wanted, everybody wanted this.
I've been nervous about this one.
Really?
Yes.
We've not got any prep, usually what we'll do when we come onto a podcast is we'll sit down beforehand, as in literally 5 minutes before it starts, and I'll put it into like 3 sections, how we're going to do the podcast.
Call it the headline hammer.
Is that really?
No,
I've never said that.
It's another
but this,
podcast.
I was like, Chris, let's just start it afresh. So the idea, hopefully, if all goes to plan, which it never does with nail order, so who knows, is that you will listen to this on the 30th of March. So we're still in February right now. But the idea is that you'll be listening to this on the 30th of March, and this is also the day, hopefully, if it's always the plan, that this product is going to be released. So we can be quite open about what the product is, its name, etc., because we will not release this until we release that product.
Yeah, so we're dancing out a tune here.
It might not be the 30th of March, but the hope is that that's when it is.
What date did I have it scheduled in for this? Now, guys, you know in the podcast, I'm honest.
January.
January, what date?
I don't know.
January 1st.
Yeah. But I always said that was completely impossible.
Well, when were the bottles at the factory?
October.
When did we start working on this?
Well, was it October? No, they can't have been there in October. November? So I think we must have started working on it in September because I got some by air.
No, the actual product? Oh, no. It was summertime. Summertime, before we built this studio, is when we started working this.
Maybe August.
Because I believe, if I'm right in saying this, one of the first factory visits is when we started discussing it. Because there's a very certain number in here, and you said that number is the number you want.
No, that was... Or maybe it must have been.
Yep. It's almost like I've got memory. Becca's got too many butterflies going on up there that she can't think of it.
I have a lot. The amount of products we're bringing you this year, guys, I cannot even believe it because at the end of last year, so 2024, literally at the end of the year, I was like, what are we going to bring out next year? Because I'd already done all the colour collections for the year, apart from some specialist ones, which we're still working on. So all the main sort of collections, autumn, winter, summer, spring, all that done. We planned the majority of cuticle oils except for autumn, winter. That's the only thing that's not been done. We still need to do that.
Don't worry, I'll do that.
And I was like, what are we going to bring out? What are we going to bring out? Oh my God. This year is way more even than last year. Way more. Actually, way more.
Would you say better?
Yeah, because again, we are only a year and a half, not even 16 months into our gel journey, which is crazy. So everything that we do is going to be better and bigger because everything is never going to be its first iteration. It's not how it ends up, right? And that's the thing with product development. With the best will in the world, you're not going to create an absolutely perfect product straight out the bat. You're going to need, even if you send it to Nailtex and get feedback, there's going to be other things that you've missed or not thought of, or things to change, especially as chemicals change or requirements with chemicals change. You know, this whole TPO thing, that's going to change a lot of gels. This year especially, people will notice that. So yeah, there's always going to be improvements to be made. But yeah, the number of things we have to come this year is absolutely ridiculous. I feel like we could end up back in that whole 2-week cycle, but for like, so when we did the launch every 2 weeks, was that 4 weeks in a row? 4 times we did that? Every 2 weeks for like 4, maybe 5 times. I reckon we'll get to a point where we could do that 8 to 10 times in a row.
Wow.
Like genuinely, we could, if we held everything back, like, and just like bunched it all together, it's like, right, we're going to go 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. We could probably do that. Maybe more.
Let us know in the comments, did you like that? So we did that towards the end of last year in the run up to Black Friday. We just gave you guys a barrage every 2 weeks of new products. And it wasn't just drip feeding you one little thing. We were doing 2 and 3 launches every 2
launches,
weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't just like a random thing like a cup. I don't know.
And we know that it's going into peak. What we call peak is from pre-Black Friday. So probably a couple of weeks before Black Friday is when you guys will start to notice your books filling up for a Christmas kind of rush. You'll have Christmas nights out in November, December, wild. January, a lot of feedback from people recently in January have said that January was good because a lot of people go away in January.
January is always good for us, and it was the same in the salon. I always remember in the salon, in our brains, January's terrible, and then it was always good. And it's the same here at Nailwood. We're like, oh, January's not good, and then it's always good.
I know. I always.
Oh, okay.
Sure. I always.
And then you say the summer's terrible, and then the summer was great.
Yes, that one I'll give you. February, bit of a slow burner.
Yeah. Well, February was straight out the gates really, really good. And then has fizzled off slightly. But we plan a lot of our launches around our biggest sales of the year. And the reason that we do that is so that you guys have proof of concept before you have to dive head first. So we're always thinking about you guys. So for instance, when we're launching things, we won't launch, when we launch things and we put things back in stock, it's very planned because we don't want you guys getting annoyed. We don't want you getting annoyed with, another launch. I know every 2 weeks was quite a lot, but there's still 14 days between it. And a lot of our customers order, on a weekly basis, never mind every 2 weeks. But what we don't want is you getting annoyed with having to pay delivery fees over and over again. But we'll stop launching things at least 2 weeks before a sale so that you guys have had time to test the product, see if you like it, and then you can invest when it's sale time and it's cheaper.
Yeah. We never tend to, although they have done a couple of times where we'll release something on a sale date, but it's something that we know you guys aren't going to be fussed about trialing. Like, for instance, cuticle oils.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's often because something's been delayed and we have no choice, and that's where we're at.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will do that occasionally, but like Chris said, it's generally, if possible, not with like really important things or completely new things. So yeah.
One other reason I was a bit nervous about doing this podcast is because some people are going to think to themselves, Jesus Louise, this is proper easy. You know, the way we were just about to describe.
Do you really think so?
Yeah.
I think you've forgotten about a lot of things.
Oh, trust me. I understand it, but some people think
Maybe you just don't see all the things I have to do.
No, honey, I'm just giving you people's opinions.
Okay.
Other people will be like, oh my God, that's super hard. I could never do that. So what you might find after this podcast is we might have screwed ourselves over. You might have all these nail techs all of a sudden are like, do you know what? All of a sudden we're going to release Jackie's builder gel.
The thing is, product development or releasing a product can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be. If you want to release a product just straight off the shelf, white label product, when people talk about white labels, white bottles, whatever, what that means is also sometimes called private label, but private label, private label can be more customized. White label literally means that you have gone to a company and it is their product generally in their packaging. There's no alterations made, no changes, bish, bash, bosh, your label stuck on it and out it goes, which means that hundreds of different brands are selling that exact product. No thought gone into it, but that's how many businesses work, and that's a lot of businesses are really successful from that.
You know something? A lot of people sell those gels on Amazon, eBay, etc., and they make an absolute stinking fortune.
Yeah. So I mean, if making money is the aim of the game, you're not trying to change the world, you're not trying to introduce something really unique and do something different, then yeah, sure, go ahead. That's not what we're trying to do here at Nail Order. Chris and I need to use our brains, otherwise we would become bored very, very easily. So simply buying something from somebody else and selling it under our name is not going to keep us occupied.
I kind of did something.
What did you do?
I've not completed it because I'm glad I've not. I contacted a white label manufacturer for something that is not gel or even nail related. It's actually food and drink related. Anyway, so a long story, right? And basically I just wanted something and put our packaging on. Okay? Kind of similar to the Love Heart thing.
Is this something that we're going to be giving away for free?
No.
Okay.
Similar to your Love Heart thing you did the other day there.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I came up with the name of it for the branding, I was like, oh no, we could do so much more with this.
Mm-hmm.
This could be an amazing product. And I'm thinking, I can't go into any more than that. I'll tell you after, honey. I got the warehouse girls involved today because they feel they're missing out on product development. So
a lot of our products or product development, I guess, comes from you see a product that somebody else sells and they sell exactly as they sell. And then you go, how can I make this better? Like something that we've been working on this week, which should start launching, I mean, hopefully I don't know, a couple of months. But that's you seeing a product that's already made, but then like how can we customize it to ourselves? How can we improve the product? How can we improve the customer experience?
And a lot of the times, people who make these nail products are not nail techs. They're in a lab or they're in a factory.
Yeah.
And they just stumble across things.
I think people don't understand the vast void that exists between people who make the nail products and brands who sell them, and the fact that people who make the products have, like Chris says, little to no experience in doing nails and don't actually understand the ins and outs of it. And that might sound really, really crazy to you, but it's just true. It is true.
Okay, so we've kicked about the bush for a little bit. Let's get into it. So cast your mind back. I'm going to put some waves over the screen. If you're listening on the podcast, I might put in there. Cast yourself back to the rainy summer that it was last year when Rebecca decided to start this new project. What is...
We'll get onto the name when we come to how we decide on name. But what sparked this product? So this is a unique product to us. We've asked for exclusivity on it from the factory. I say it's a unique product to us. There was a bit of a coming together of minds, actually. It's collaborative. It always is collaborative. But it is a unique product. And what I was initially what I was thinking is I'd like to move all of our gels to the UK, right? And so I was looking at Ultima and Flexi, and we'd given samples of Ultima and stuff to our UK factory. And it's a very, very long process getting something reverse engineered. They have to send it away to their sister company. It's a whole thing. And then I started thinking, people absolutely love Ultima and they absolutely love Flexi. So is there something that we can do that where that it's the basis of that product? So it's the same idea. It's like a rubber-based type product, but we can make it even better.
And that's where most of Rebecca's product ideas come from. How can we have this, but improve on it?
Yeah, exactly. So I guess, I mean, Ultima Gel is almost just like a reiteration of X-Gel Sensitive. So that means that we're discontinuing X-Gel Sensitive because we no longer we don't need it. We have no place for it. Ultima is HEMA-free, but it's also free of the 4 main allergens. And arguably, it probably I don't know if it does work better, or at least just as well. It's our best-selling gel. People absolutely love it for the retention.
It's called Ultima for a reason.
Yeah. So I had seen another product that the lab offered, which wasn't really a standalone product. So when I'm saying standalone, it's something you'd have to put underneath other products, sort of like a base, but not really a base. Do you know what I mean? More of like a type of treatment, product than anything else. So there was then discussion about how we could combine the two, if we could combine the two. There was discussion around allergies because our UK factory, they've never had any problems with the use of HPMA, but it's something that I just feel as a brand that we're noticing, like allergies are springing up more and more. So if I can reduce the allergens or the common allergens as much as possible, that's what I want to do.
I think it also is better. We keep saying this to them. It's better just to get rid of it now if we can.
Yeah.
If we can.
Yeah. It's going to be like a HEMA situation where HEMA is not the problem. It's the way it's being used slash misuse. And again, that is not necessarily at the fault of the nail technician. They can be improperly guided by the brands, but that's a whole other topic. So yeah, we just want to try and get away with that. And the thing with HPMA is when it's like anything. So you take one thing out, which is HEMA, replace it with something else, then people are getting overexposed to that so much. So it's just to say there's always going to be a replacement allergen that people are reacting to. So try and reduce that, or get rid of that. And yeah, went from there.
Okay, so you have the idea and you're trying to kind of combine them in your head, but really it comes down to, is this product going to work? So how do you get samples?
So what we were doing with this product is we were almost combining it was almost as if we were combining two different products that already existed and then making some changes off the back of that. So the chemist prepared me a sample and I try it.
On the day, actually? Is that an on the day one?
No, I don't think so. Prepared me a sample, absolutely loved it. And I put it on Laura at first, and Laura has one hand of each at the moment, grown her nails to a really, really long length. And she didn't like Flexi Gel on really long nails. Flexi Gel isn't designed really for use on really long nails, unless those nails are like steel. So I thought she'd be the perfect person to try it on. She's kind of the person I like to go to because she's always there and always willing to get her nails done and doesn't mind having different hands, different fingers. She was dubious because she doesn't like Flexi Gel on herself when her nails are really long. And she absolutely loved it.
Just as you're saying that, I just remembered that we've actually published this on the YouTube channel.
Is it on the YouTube? No, it can't be on the YouTube.
I'm sure that this
it was on TikTok.
I mean, talk
Maybe
amongst
you're thinking about
yourselves.
I think you're thinking about TikTok.
think that it's called, I think the name of the video was Flexi Plus. Does that ring a bell? Just as we're talking about this, or Flexi 2.0?
Could be.
Just talk amongst yourselves.
Anyway, yeah, so I put it on Laura and she absolutely loved it. She was just blown away by the retention and the strength of her nails. And like I said, what we wanted to do is we wanted to do something like Flexi Gel, but just even better and to suit even more people.
Yep. Take yourself back to September 15th, 2024.
Really?
So that's when we were trialing it.
We were already trialing it by then.
And the title is Brand New Flexi Gel Plus. Rubber base application featuring a brand new product. But I know that is not the finished product.
No, it's not. It's not the finished product. So get a sample, happy with the sample, and I want to make some changes to obviously colours, viscosity as well. But the great news is that now we have the base formula. And we have the ingredients. We might not have the percentage of each ingredients yet. That's by the by because that is for our SDS. But we have the ingredients, which means I can now get the packaging made. And getting the packaging made takes a really long time for us. So our packaging, we've made it really, really difficult.
We have. Just like, let's straight off the bat, we have screwed ourselves in the
We
ass.
have. I think we've talked about this before, but like most people, or like almost everybody, our packaging is made in China. Pretty much all packaging emanates from China and then sometimes gets sold through third parties in Europe and England. But if you're getting something completely custom made, screen printed, everything completely custom, it's going to come from China. So
especially in the quantities that we get.
Yes.
It'd be different, I think, if we were just doing colouring books away by now.
Colouring books will be out by now.
So the first thing I said to the designer is, we'll get them from China.
And I said, no.
Because it's smaller quantities, you're probably better off.
And it's
just getting
paper,
in the UK.
so it can actually be made here in the UK. Certain things can be made in the UK, but packaging, plastic, glass, is going to be from China, especially when it's screen printed, etc. We obviously have a mould for our caps as well, and the caps make things a lot more difficult. So what will happen is, as soon as I've decided on colours of anything, right, whether it is a gel polish, whether it is Angel, Flex Gel, whatever it is, the moment I have decided on colours, I will swatch them and I will get that sent away to China so that they can make
colour match.
So they can colour match it to put on
chips on the top.
Exactly. It doesn't always go to plan, but that is what we do. So I get that sent away first and foremost, and then I'll get the artwork done between me and Sam. I was usually doing the backs and the sides, but Sam's now doing that for us. She's our graphic designer, and she will get all of that together, and I'll send it off to China to be printed on the packaging. That'll take usually about 4 weeks. I mean, I'm waiting for order right now to finish that has been in there for 2 months, but China has their New Year's holiday, which lasts the best part of 3 weeks and really messes things up. For anybody who orders stuff from China, you will know what a pain it is. But yes, so that will be the packaging. So to be able to send away the artwork, we need to decide what we're going to call something. And that is often, that can be a really exciting part. Like when you put a name on something, especially when it's a brand new product, a range or whatever. It's like whenever we've named all of our products, I can actually tell you where we were. Like I can remember.
Yeah.
I can remember naming like the gel polish, the Angel, Duragel, and now the name of this product. So when we're naming a product, we're trying to think what fits with the brand and what does the product do. So let's quickly look at Duragel. So Duragel, having the word gel in it is great. It's great for SEO and it's great just for people to understand it's a gel. So we'll try and have the word gel in there where we can. Duragel was pretty much one of the first names I think that came to my mind.
Yeah.
I think I was really quick on Duragel.
The thing is, we were never 100% sold on it, so back and forth with lots of different ideas.
Yeah, and we'll come up with a name and we kind of like it, but then we'll try and better it. And if we can't, we're like, well, that's the one we're going with. Duragel, quite simply, it's hard gel, it's durable, Duragel. Super easy. Yep. Flexi gel, flexible, it's gel. Something else that we tried to take into consideration is what names other brands have for their products, and we'll try and avoid it. Now, with the best will in the world, that can't always be done, and you'll miss one. You'll miss some. You know, you'll miss some, and you'll be like, oh God, because
At the end of the day, to be able
There's
to
so
find
many
out what other
brands.
brands have, and it can be big brands, small brands. First thing we do is a Google search. If it doesn't show up in the first 2 pages of Google, for the most part, it's probably not been.
Sometimes it'll show up as well, not in our industry,
Yeah.
like in a plumbing or
Yeah.
some other sort of industry.
So FlexiGel, just a quick story about that one, is actually used in Europe by another brand, which is a similar product. They've got it trademarked in Europe, we've got it trademarked in the
Did we know about it when we named it though? I don't think.
not.
I was about to say I don't think we did, because we will actively avoid that if we know that another nail brand has a name for something, we will avoid it. Interestingly, extensions, another brand. I only found this out recently. Another brand came out with their full cover tip range called Extensions the month before us, which means that we would both have named it, and it takes a long time to bring something to market. Obviously, with the product that we're talking about right now, we started working on, say, August last year. It is the end of February coming into March, so August, September, November, February, 7.5, 8 months we're in. It'll be 8 months when it launches. So it takes a long time. So you're not just naming something and then you get it, especially, if it's coming from afar. So Yeah, that's just great minds think alike. That's crazy. So the moral of the story is we will actively try and avoid naming a gel system something if another brand has it. We will do that for colours as well, but again, some brands have hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of colours, so we can't possibly know. But certain brands, especially if it's brands that like we've used in the office or like previously when we had sounds and stuff, but those of us in the office who've used different brands will know off the top of our head. No, somebody will come up with a name, go, no, can't call it that. Such and such brand has it. If it's a color that doesn't, if it's a name that doesn't necessarily match the color that we had in mind that the other brand has, say we're naming our pink and their one is blue,
Yeah,
that's it's fine. But just to try and avoid things, I don't know. I think it's the right thing to do. So with this name, it took us a long time to come up with this name.
yes.
And there were several things we went through, and we were like, nope, another brand has that. No, another brand has that. No, another brand uses that word. And we're like, oh, God, we don't want to use that word. So with this one particularly, there's two aspects to look at this one, which we love. We love a bit of a pun.
We always love a play on words.
We love a play on words, yes. We love a play on words.
Good day, mate. It does make sense.
Love a play on words, and we love where the name tells you or it hints to what it does. So this product is called SynerGel. Now, we have Angel and we have SynerGel. Okay, so
This one's terrible. Bad.
it's that. So this one is along sort of sins, that type of line. But the word, how we got to SynerGel was synergy, and it's because this product is where flexibility meets strength. So it's like a synergy of these two things coming together.
Right. Epic.
Yes. So it's called SynerGel, SY.
I love how we don't have any packaging here to show anyone.
No, I know. I did mean to get some when we were at the factory the other day.
But by the time this comes out, hopefully I'll have like some sort of screenshot I can put up. And if you've seen the thumbnail.
And they'll be watching the live that is tonight.
Oh, wow.
If you're watching on the 30th of March, if this is when, whatever day is today, is the day that we will be launching SynerGel. So please go and watch the live, which will probably be at 7 o'clock on Instagram.
All of a sudden it's June and everyone's like, March? What the heck?
And it's like a Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yes, it's called SynerGel. And then once you've come up with a name, you have to come up with like a brand identity for that product that fits within our brand. So like Angel and Duragel, they've all got their own icons, you know, they're distinct FlexiGel within themselves when it's to do with the icons and to do with the fonts. SynerGel is exactly the same. So yeah, that's the next step. We get all the artwork away and we get the bottle.
Yeah. I think the naming part is one of the hardest parts. But definitely I think once you've got it, just see everyone else getting going. I remember when Sam had done like 3 or 4 different variations of SynerGel and everyone was like,
Yeah,
just didn't get it. And then we started really like...
I'll go through the chat and see if I can send you the pictures and you can flash them up on the screen, like, and you can see how it comes together.
Yeah, I think that is something about products. They're always moving. They're very fluid, regardless if it's a gel or not. They're always very fluid, and it's all about input. And I think because we have such a massive team, and a lot of people are very vocal within that team, I think that's when, packaging. The brand logo for SynerGel is.
It's really cool, isn't it?
I remember you and I were talking about it on a dog walk. I can remember, you know where the grip box is?
Mm-hmm.
We were standing just over there.
Oh,
I think that's when we come up with the name SynerGel or discussed the...
I love it. It's really cool. Very on brand.
Very on brand.
Very on brand. But yeah, I'll see if I can find those pictures because there was a group chat between Laura, Sam and I. And we were like, no, don't like that. No, and changes things. And, you know, you can see it sort of come to life. So like I said earlier, I was wanting some changes in viscosity. We've got the ingredients down. We've got the colours down. But I was wanting some viscosity changes. And the other changes that I was looking for was cure thickness as well. So that doesn't involve any additional or different ingredients. It's just using the same ingredients at different percentages. So let's talk about the viscosity first. So it's very increasing the viscosity. I wanted it slightly thicker than it had been before. It was a little runnier. It is a more or a less viscous product. It is more runny than Build-A-Gel. Rubber bases should be, because you're not building big apexes. That is not what the product is designed for. SynerGel, I've got it on this finger here, and for me, my nails are like paper under here. They are just so thin and terrible. I've always had horrible nails, but compared to Build-A-Gel, do you want to feel it?
No.
To Chris, there is no difference, but there really, really is a difference. So I don't know if the camera's even going to be able to see this. So you've got some flex here. Okay.
There's a little bit of flex.
There's barely any flex in
That's
there.
Builder Gel.
That's
so
Angel.
less-
And then you've got Duragel.
No
No
flex.
flex. So yeah. So there's a slight flexibility, but it's not like FlexiGel. It is a lot. I feel personally, for me, it's a lot stronger. Like I can wear this on my nails at any length and be really happy. You've seen the length of Laura's nails; they are really long, and she's really, really pleased with it on.
One thing we always talk about is if you've got short nails, Flexi is much better. But we find that Flexi seems to be better than Builder Gel, for example.
100%. I think the
It seems
retention
to last longer,
it
better,
does.
retention's better.
Absolutely.
I would say this is a great intermediate product that bridges the gap between
Yes.
Flexi and Builder Gel.
Yes, exactly. It is a halfway product. In terms of its strength, you're not going to be applying it really any thicker than FlexiGel. I'll come on to cure thickness in a minute. But it's going to feel stronger. So I think it is a perfect halfway, lightweight. Oh, it's a great product. I think people are going to absolutely love it.
You know how we always say Builder was this miracle that you go on a Builder journey, you grow your nails with Builder. I don't think that's true for 1 second. But I do.
Yeah.
I do think with SynerGel, literally, you go from a very, very short bit of nail, for example, and you can get it to a decent length
Yep.
without having to change that product.
Yep.
It is almost like an all-in-one product.
Yep.
I would suggest that if you want to grow your nails like past what I would call a medium length nail, you would then move over probably to hard gel, if I'm honest with you.
It is definitely a very, very versatile product. Speaking of which, this product that we are releasing it with the instruction that you can use it under Duragel. So there is a lot of people who are absolutely obsessed with the idea of putting a soak-off base coat underneath hard gel. For our original formula, we don't find that is necessary at all. It's not what I would personally do for my steps, but this product can be used underneath Duragel.
So just break it down if someone's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why would you do that?
I don't know why people would do that. People are so obsessed with the fact that hard gel is file off and not soak off, but let me file off hard gel any day over soaking off Builder Gel.
Do you think some people don't think about it properly, and what they're thinking about is they'll just take off the top layer, they'll soak the fingers, and it'll come off like
Maybe,
Builder.
and that's the thing. Like
Not going to, right?
No.
I mean, it'll take a long time.
You need to take all the hard gel off, in which case you've taken all the hard gel off. I think what people are nervous about is getting down to the layer of the natural nail. And here's what I'm going to say. You do not need to, and arguably should not be, taking off every single scrap of gel when you are doing a removal of any sort.
Removal you'd want to get is,
unless you're switching brands.
Yeah, if I'm honest with you, removal you want to take as much off as you possibly can. Whereas if it's an infill or rebalance, you 75%.
80%. I very, 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 very rarely soak off anybody's nails. I will file them off no matter what product I'm using because I think it is so much faster. And actually, I think it is better for the nails because what I'm doing is I'm leaving little patches on the natural nail, which is then protecting that area of natural nail from being over-prepped, over-filed. Works great for me personally.
Okay, so let's talk about the testing stage. So you've got a couple of samples. You're wanting to make some tweaks. How long are you testing this? And how often are you testing it? And what are you testing it for?
I've got a
All
lot.
the questions.
I've got a lot of different products to test, so I'm testing it whenever I can in terms of user friendliness. The next person that I tested it on was Stacey, who is our warehouse supervisor, and she hates FlexiGel on her own nails.
See a pattern here?
Not because of retention's perfect, but they do not like the feeling of the bending. All of these people, myself, Laura, and Stacey, we all, for the most part, Laura's nails will come and go in length. She'll cut hers off, but Stacey and I, they're always the same length, approximately this length. So
Medium length nail.
yeah, medium to long length nail.
Also, Stacey working in the warehouse.
And she works in a warehouse. She can't, and so would be very prone to getting like a bend or something on a box, really uncomfortable feeling, and that's why she doesn't like FlexiGel for long nails. Off on her, I put it on her because I was like, if she likes it, then anybody will like it. She loved it.
Yeah,
absolutely loved it. She was so hesitant. She was like, I really don't want it. I was like, please try it. She absolutely adored it. The thing is, we're making FlexiGel sound really bad here, but it's like one of our best selling gels because it's just Ultima's pigmented pal. It's the same formula just with pigment, and people absolutely love it. Ultimate, like I said, is our best selling gel. But it is a true rubber base, and as a result, it has a lot more flexibility. Whilst
Can I just ask, did rubber base come before builder?
I don't actually know the answer to that question, so I would be lying if I gave you an answer.
So I would suggest that most people get builder, then they try to get switched onto a rubber base style
Probably.
product, and it's
Probably. And they're like, oh, my
because it's
nails are really
unusual.
hard. I don't like that flexibility. Yeah, they've been used to using them like tools.
Yep.
I would say probably. So yeah, this just gives that added strength. And again, whilst it is a rubber base, it just adds that level of strength that other rubber bases just don't. My nails are still really bendy. And I've applied it to my nail really quite thin. Whilst I did float a second layer, it was barely floated. Barely floated. Like if I did 3 thin coats, that would be the same thickness as what I've got right now.
Okay,
That makes sense.
it does.
So yeah, like I said, I wanted the viscosity change, so it was a little bit thicker. I just knew people would get on with it better. The thing is, I feel like I know how nail techs use products, and that's what drives a lot of my decisions. I'm like, a nail tech's going to use it like this. It's irrelevant of how the product has been developed or designed. They're going to use it how is easiest for them to use it.
Really, that's what it comes down to.
So let's just try and do that first time. So increase the viscosity, like I said, and then the next thing was cure thickness. So typically rubber bases are applied quite thin, typically. And I don't think they typically need to be super, super pigmented. Whilst there's a relatively good pigmentation on these gels, some slightly more than others, they're not like necessarily opaque. You can obviously layer them up. But yeah, cure thickness, again, I know the way that nail techs are going to use the product. And whilst we tell them a million times, it's not builder gel, don't use it the same way, people are going to be inclined to use it in a similar fashion. So I knew I had to get it to a cure thickness that I was comfortable with, because as we know, undercured products can cause allergies. So yes. So this does have approximately a double cure thickness of FlexiGel.
Wow.
In some shades, I would say actually probably slightly more. In some shades, it's not. I'm not even going to say that because I don't want to tempt people to using it like that. But anyway, yes, in some shades I would say slightly more. But I'm going to say to be safe, about double that of FlexiGel.
Is there like a measurement you can put into context?
Yes.
You won't tell me?
Not until I've 100%
Or is that because
decided on the number that I'm going to publish.
Or is that because a lot of people, myself included, take measurements and run with them?
Well, that is the thing. So when I say, I'll say a recommended cure thickness, right? And then I've recently been having chats with the lab about how to standardize things going forward. So everything is very, very standardized, and there's no like question, doubt, or anything like that. And I'll say, right, this is what we're saying is a recommended cure thickness, but actually add 20% onto that, because just for user error, I just think it's always better. Again, thinking about how a nail tech's going to use it. And I think that's really important when we're saying, like, think about who's selling your products. We talked about this just recently in our where you should get your information from. But who's selling your products? Are they thinking like a nail tech is thinking? Because if they're not, the product's probably not going to be that user-friendly.
That's one of the things about the white label products. If they're coming from a lab, they're just using drawdown bar to get a certain thickness.
I don't think they're even doing that.
I think.
No.
But also, they're not telling you how thick that is to be used.
No,
So for
and that's the
instance,
thing, guys. Like, when you go, it's the same when you buy something from anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's in the UK, it doesn't matter if it's Europe, it doesn't matter if it's China. We have experience with it all. They don't give you a list of things and say, right, this is the recommended cure thickness for your product. This is the recommended lamps.
Yeah.
No factory that I've ever dealt with has ever even said that. Anything that I want to find out or things I want to put in place, I have to go and work out. We have to go and work them out independently, don't we?
Yeah. For our peace of mind.
Yes, not because it's a requirement, but for, like you say, for our peace of mind. So, yeah, I think anything. I don't know if it's not coming from somebody who's thinking like a nail tech, then anything could be going on.
Exactly. So, how many trials would you do before you're like, yep, let's get this into production?
First person I'll trial it on is myself before I'll trial it on anybody, because I like to be able to keep a constant visual on that product. It's the same if like that we're experiencing any problems with anything. The first person I will do it on is myself, because I know how rough I am. I know that I do not oil my cuticles. I know that I've done my prep and everything exactly as we are recommending to the client. So I'll just do it on myself. I know I'm quite hard on my nails. So yeah, I mean, how many sets you're going to do? God, it could vary absolutely wildly.
Depends if you're tweaking different parts of the formula.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
for instance, if you're just going back and saying, I need the viscosity by 50%, the cure thickness by, I don't know, 0.5 mil, something like that, and they ace it first time, and you're quite happy with it, then it's maybe just a couple more
you've got to
trials.
do some good wear tests.
Yeah.
Number one, got to remember that this type of product that I'm talking about, you know, as I said, we were pretty much for the most part combining 2 different products that they already had. So there's a history behind that. There's all the, you know, the safety testing, the history in terms of wearability. It's all pretty as expected, you know. But wear test is obviously really, really important, making sure that people are going to get the retention that they would expect.
Okay, so once you're happy with it, what's the next stage?
Signing it off. So we were actually only last week right now, but signing off colours and stuff. So something is very interesting is, and I did not myself know this until last week, is that when you mix pigments into different substrates, and when we're saying a substrate, what we mean is a different base formula. So for instance, Duragel is a different substrate to Angel, just as an example, that it can affect the pigment, the colour. So I'm saying, right, I want to base the colours off of XYZ existing shades that we already have in Angel or Duragel, and then I'm going to add in a couple of new ones. And then they come to you with the colours and you're like, here we go. And you go, huh, that doesn't look like what I asked for. But it's the substrate can affect the colour.
So it's basically like, again, I'm going to put this into layman's terms. You go into your hardware store and you ask them to mix some paint.
Mm-hmm.
If they're mixing paint in, say, a gloss and a varnish and all the rest of it, and they're just putting in colour additives at the same
like same levels,
same
percentages,
different colours are going to come out.
Yeah,
they're going to be they're all going to be pink,
but even more like vastly different.
Yeah, especially the kind of more sheer, right?
It doesn't really follow any rhyme nor reason, to be honest with you. It was weird. A lot of colours lost a lot of their pink. Pink, as we all know, is the least stable pigment. It's a really hard pigment to deal with, especially when we're, you know, without TPO anymore and we're onto TPOL, which has much more yellowing. What's the word I'm looking for? Properties. That's the word I was looking for. I
mean, pink. I hate to say it. Pink's an absolute nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare for so many reasons.
It's one of the most popular colours that we have in town.
Of course, and it's in the majority of colours that you sell is going to have some variety of pink in it. So I had to make some changes. I think on the day I only approved a 4. We only approved 4.
3 that had to be.
3 had to be completely redone. We had to swap around some names, some colours. It was the weirdest thing. It was like one turned out like one, another turned out like another. It was the weirdest thing. So we swapped them. And I want you to
tell you guys something. See, when I'm in the factory, when guys get to that stage, it means that I've already been up for like 10 hours.
Mm.
So by that time, I'm starting to shut down.
And I was like, we've lost one. I can only find 10. But guys, we've lost one. And we couldn't work out for them because we'd swapped some names. We'd taken some away that had to be completely redone. But yeah, it was a lot. But anyway.
At that point in time, I'm thinking, surely I can't be on my 8th.
So we've still got one left to approve, which is Taboo.
Of course.
Which should be based off Cherub. So it should be nice and easy. And I hope they won't need a sample and he can just do it because we gave him a wet sample and everything. Fingers crossed. So yeah, that's where you're at. After that, it's all marketing and compliance. So obviously there's an element of compliance with our packaging, but we know exactly what we're doing when it comes to that, because we've done it a million times before. But
describe our compliant packaging. What are you looking for on the back of a gel bottle?
But there's many elements. Number one, any text you put on has to be legible. You want weight of the product. You want where the product is made. Putting made in the EU is not acceptable. It must specify the country. Your ingredients. a lot number, and any safety precautions, and the address as well. That's really
Of a
important.
registered safety
The registered person. Yeah.
It's a lot to cram onto the back of a bottle.
It is.
Bottles are tiny.
Yeah, but
But
manage.
what would be the repercussions if you didn't have that on the back?
Fines from training standards. That is, yeah, very, very important. Obviously, lot numbers, incredibly important. So there's traceability. If anything happens and your products don't have lot numbers on it, it means that how are you meant to go back to the manufacturer and say, I've got a problem with this product, and they need to recall it? What are they recalling? Everything?
Massive thing that's just happened recently in Europe. You've probably seen a lot of a lot of brands saying they were going to stop sending things to Europe, and it's because of that lot number / responsible person.
Mhm.
Here in the UK, we register everything onto a cosmetic safety portal,
CPSR.
CPSR, so that when this product is registered on there, if there is a problem, they can find who the manufacturer or who the responsible person is. Usually this guy. So when it came to registering everything in Europe, we had to set everything up in Europe, which again, quite difficult to do. Thankfully, you've got this guy in ChatGPT who could do it. But yeah, it's that traceability. So if we send something to a different country, or even just in the UK, and there is an issue, something unstable, come back and say, actually, this lot number, this is the batch.
Yeah, say Training Standards was having loads of reports of, some terrible side effect or allergy to this product.
It's how, like, for instance, if, I don't know, say for instance, McDonald's is selling dodgy chicken burgers, they will work out where that chicken came from based on those lot numbers.
Based on the lot numbers, exactly.
I know that sounds weird, but the packaging will have a lot number. If you look at the packaging you get from your superstore,
it's all about traceability. So really, really important. So as Chris mentioned there, CPSR, so we need to register on the cosmetic safety portal. And we also need to have an SDS made as well.
So compliance is really boring, but you've just got to do it.
Of course.
What after that?
So after that, again, you're just marketing and education. So we need to film content around it. We need to film content on how to use the products to make sure that everybody knows how to use them. We need to get pictures for the website. We'll do like emails. We'll do a reel. We might send some out to people. So yeah, all just sort of general marketing things.
Hi guys, Editing Chris here, and I have an apology to make. I'm not quite sure what's happened to the sound, but it has dropped off here. I've tried to clean up as much as possible using the phones that we record on for the podcast, for the video podcast, for the YouTube, but unfortunately the sound has dropped off. I do think it is an update that I've done on the Rodecaster, and well, Rebecca's probably going to kill me, so I'm just trying to pacify this. I've tried to clean up the sound as much as possible. On YouTube it's not going to sound great. On audio format, it is going to sound probably a lot better. This is a great episode, so I do hope that you can forgive me and continue listening. Bit of staff training, usually on a Monday morning. Tell me what it is. In terms of shelving in the warehouse, I'll just talk about warehouse stuff. For instance, this is going to have its huge big bay. It's already been mapped out because we are moving so much around the warehouse. We've got to map things out 6-8 months in advance to avoid having to move 100 gel polishes.
Yeah, so if you imagine the warehouse, all the gel polishes are alphabeticalized.
Alphabetized.
That's the one. Alphabetized. So Stacey will come through intermittently and she'll go, right, can you give me all the names for all of the new products? And like I said earlier, we've got right through to winter sorted for this year. So I can give her all of the names of all the planned products as much as we can. Certainly gel polish anyway. Right up till then, and they'll leave spaces for that.
Yeah, the good thing about having a new product is we create a new bay for it because you want to try and keep everything together. So that's in terms of the warehouse and stuff. So real quick, because I know what time is getting on. How many colours are we bringing in?
11, including clear. So it's 10 plus clear. Really random.
No.
Hey, but 11's an angel number, so
that's
a SynerGel.
I remember when we first did it. I remember getting to that 11th and they couldn't choose a 12. So there you go. And then I think we were so tired at the time. We said, screw it. We'll just have 11.
I know. We try and restrict ourselves by numbers all the time, and I think it's really silly.
Okay.
We try and do it to 5s and 8s because that's what fits in our boxes. But in hindsight, like, why hold yourself back?
And just talking about that, it's only coming in bottles, is that right?
It is. So like I said earlier, it's a lower viscosity product, so it's thinner. I certainly don't think it's necessary in jars, pots, but I'm sure you guys will tell us otherwise.
And because we are such community-led idiots, we'll listen to your feedback and probably just do whatever you guys want.
Yes.
Pots are easier because our pots are just shipped as blanks.
Pots are so much easier in terms of packaging, although of course there's a big problem last year.
Yep.
But that shouldn't happen again. But yeah, they are so much faster. I don't have to send things away to be colour matched, to be screen printed, blah blah blah.
What would you say is your favourite thing about product development? When it works?
Yeah. Seeing people's excitement, seeing people like coming back and saying that they love it and things like that. So I guess it's once it's all said and done. Although the really sad thing is that once it's all said and done and once it's released, you're bored and we are mentally bored of that product because we spent a lot of time on it and we've moved on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a shame.
I'll just let you guys know if I flip one of these cameras around, you would be shocked at what is over on that desk.
Do not flip the camera.
You would be shocked coming September. But one thing I will say is, yes, we do get bored of it really quickly.
Mhm.
Scents, cuticle scents. As soon as they're released, we're done.
We're done because we've been smelling them, we've been using it, for months usually.
Yeah.
So, yes. But I think you guys are going to be really excited about what's coming. And all of those steps that we've kind of just gone through are things that we'll do for every single product.
I think now that we're 5 years on, you and I, we do have things licked a little bit better in
It's
terms
not
of.
quite 5 years.
No.
And I mean, in terms of gels, we are.
Yeah.
No,
But we're starting to be more streamlined. We've got our own certain jobs, certain tasks that everyone has to go on with. We are slightly working better.
trying to.
The biggest problem is, as soon as one product's done, you move on to the next one, you move on to the next one. At what point in time do you then go back and go, actually, let's take this and redevelop it?
I feel like
I'll just say one thing, gel polish. You're not thinking about redeveloping, right?
no. No. And I can actually remember saying, I'm sure it won't be our first iteration, nothing's perfect straight out of the bat. Some of our gel polish is perfect.
Yeah.
Some of it.
Yep.
And there are some shades that I think I'm going to increase payment on. But for the majority and of our core collection specifically, they're perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Doing that.
Just
In
perfect.
terms of gel polish, that wasn't even 6 months. That wasn't 8 months.
That was a year and a half.
That was really 6
That
7
was a
years
lot.
in the making.
Well, in our minds, yes. But yeah, other things I think we can make changes to and improve all the time. I've already got heaps of stuff in my head that we're going to do to make little tweaks and improvements and things. We'll never change something just because. Right? For instance, whilst I have said I would like to move our gels, all of our gels to the UK. So we currently have our gel polish, base coat, top coat, Flexi and Ultima, made in Europe. I would like to move it to the UK.
The thing is, just to make clear, we have no issue with the fact that it's in Europe.
No.
It's just a
bit easier.
transportation.
And for us as well, being able to drive to our manufacturer in just a few hours, it's and be very hands-on with the chemist stuff. It's be in the same time zone, like everything like
Time
that.
zone, language, etc.
And the shipping, obviously, like to get stuff, it takes so long unless you're willing to pay £1 zillion to have it within 2 days.
£1 zillion.
£1 zillion. But unless we could make it exact, put it this way, we've already put product, like I said, to be reverse engineered, and they have come out and said at the moment that this is going to take a long time for us to do because it's so good. Like, they are mind blown by the quality of the gel polish, and that's one factory speaking about another and saying like that is unreal. Like, and whenever he speaks to somebody else about it, like another colleague, he'll go, look at this, like, have you seen anything like this? It's unbelievable.
Which is one of the biggest compliments. If you can get a gel manufacturer to say essentially what we've got just now is the best I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
So
it makes things very, very difficult for us, but yeah, we would never change something unless it was going to actually make it better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you've probably seen I don't know, software is always something I always see people changing software. So something you may use on your laptop or your phone or something. And the company change it for the better apparently, then you use it and it's never for the better.
Yeah, but that's why like Laura and I wait for a really long time before updating our phones so that we can have somebody else test it for us.
However, the hardware side of things, new chips in your computer, there's new cameras in your phone.
The battery's a lot better,
Battery's a lot better. these things are quick and easy to just make better. You know, the battery technology always gets better, the camera technology always gets better, the chips always get smaller and faster. So that's easy just to quickly change. The software is really the hard part because that's the user interface. And when it comes to something like a gel polish, I always think to yourself, that's the part, is when you swipe it on and it's one coat and it's just creamy and delicious.
I think we're going to see a lot of interesting things over the next year in the industry, especially with the TPO ban in Europe. Again, specifying that is only in Europe, it is not here in the UK, and no set date for that yet, I believe. In Europe, it will be banned in September, and again, it's not to do with September.
You said
September. It's not to do with any allergy concerns or anything like that. If you are interested in the whole TPO thing, please go and read my blog on it on our nail knowledge section. But there are other substances being banned as well this year. There's one that is in a product which is so viral throughout the nail industry and has been for years. I'm really interested to see how that plays out. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a bit of experimental time in the industry, and I think nail technicians will need to be a little bit patient, probably, and expect that things will be a little bit different.
I think the best thing about you just now is you're doing experiments. It's not coming out of a factory, and they're doing experiments and they're giving it to nail techs to test and all that sort of stuff. You're doing it. So I think that's great. I think we're set up for the next year, 18 months. I think we're definitely at least a year ahead of a lot of people as well.
I think you're right, and I think we were really lucky in terms of our European manufacturer, who were already ahead of the curve in terms of the whole TPO thing. So not having the gel polish made in the UK or America really played into our hands.
Absolutely.
Didn't it?
Because a lot of people are going to get to this. I mean, I'm thinking right now is where are we going to be in September? How much product do we have to shift, and how much do we have to?
No, we can still sell it. We can still sell it in the UK. We can still sell it in America and stuff. It's obviously just Europe that is the concern. But it'll all be gone, I would say.
But we did actually discuss having, when you go into like the supermarket, you have like the Polish aisle and the Indian aisle and the Mexican.
All the different like ethnicities.
Yeah. That's what we're going to have. We're going to have. You can only sell this to Ireland. Not sell this to the US.
Do you know what? I think a lot of brands will just ignore it and won't. I think that's just the people will. I'm too anxious to do that, but
it's the compliance that can come back over.
We were also because we were ahead of the curve in terms of the TPO situation, TPO, TPOL. We were telling our UK manufacturers things about TPOL that they didn't know because they hadn't yet worked with the product. The great news is, I think we're now onto a proprietary.
Stop giving all the goodies away.
That's proprietary. It means it's not a chemical that I can just say the name of and people know. So I'm not going to say anything. But yeah, we're probably even going to come away from TPOL and onto a proprietary initiator, which so far could be an absolute miracle.
Again, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for you. I don't believe. Pushing the boundaries, changing things in the nail industry.
I think TPO, guys, is that it was
the best.
It is the most efficient photo initiator in terms of an all-round package, in terms of yellowing. So there's much less yellowing with TPO. The amount that it can cure, the speed at which it cures, TPOL is meant to be the next best option, but you do have a yellowing situation and it tends to polymerize a little bit faster, which can lead to more heat spikes. So,
spicy yellow nails.
Nice. Yes.
Glad to that Indian.
That what?
That Indian.
The Indian. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to think about, guys, as you can tell from that. And there's probably a million things in between that we haven't even thought about yet. Yeah. Or we haven't even thought to tell you guys.
We could have been in so much more in depth into this podcast, but I'm glad we kept it relatively high level because we don't want to bore you. We just want to tell you with the fun stuff. We don't want to show you when Rebecca cries. So on that note, honey, just had to make sure I got it right because I'm starting to get sleepy. What are you having for dinner tonight? I mean,
steak.
I've spoken
with Rebecca's delicious mushroom blue cheese sauce.
I've spoken with my friend Matt before. Sent me this notepad. Friend from Canada sent me this steak seasoning, and we've had steak.
It's very good.
This will be the fourth time.
And I would say probably in the previous 6 months we probably didn't have steak once.
No, I was going to say the last 4 years.
All right, so you were, yeah, but then we've had it full, yeah.
Because this seasoning on the steak is delicious. And if you
Yes.
go to yourself, take yourself to Aldi and get some nice cheap steaks.
And my sauce
this blue cheese mushroom sauce.
that
If
I
you
made
guys
from
want,
complete scratch.
I don't know what I'm going to like the recipe. Can you write my recipe?
It's
Gonna
mostly,
put the
it's just in my head, for sure.
Okay, I'm going to write a recipe.
It's really,
So
really
I'm not
good.
looking at anything else in this podcast.
And it's the most indulgent thing I have. We tried to eat quite normally during the week, don't we?
2 pounds off.
Food.
Yeah. Okay, honey. We've kept the people for long enough. Can you please get us out of here?
As always, guys, if you enjoyed that, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Please comment below and let us know what we should talk about next. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't already.